Level 0, $0. You open the banking app. The screen shows nothing but zero. No numbers, no transactions, no movement. The bank system sees your name, but it sees no footprint of you. You're like a blank screen. You walk into a branch. The teller takes your ID, looks at the computer, finds nothing. She asks, "Are you here to open an account?" You say yes. She says, "The minimum deposit is $500. You say, "I don't have that yet." She says, "Then come back later." You walk outside. You stand by the door and watch people going in and out. The bank is busy, and you feel like part of the wall. That day you understand, $0 means zero attention. The bank keeps its door open for you, but not its mind. Level 1, -$4. One morning you open the app and see a red minus sign, just $4. An app subscription you forgot to cancel. The bank immediately slaps a $35 fee on top. You stare at the screen for a moment. A $4 mistake costs $35. You think, is this a joke? But the bank doesn't understand jokes. You call. The automated voice says, "Your call is important to us." 12 minutes later, a woman picks up. She says, "How can I help you?" You say, "This fee is a mistake." She says, "I see, but the fee has been applied according to policy." You say, "It was only $4. She says, "I understand, but rules are rules." You ask for a manager. She puts you on hold, another 10 minutes. The manager comes on. He says, "I can't reverse the fee." You hang up. The fee stays. Then another charge hits, a $7 subscription you forgot about. The system sees you're already negative and adds another $35. Now you owe $77. You skip lunch that day because your wallet has only $10. You walk past the cafeteria as if you never wanted to go there. A coworker asks, "Want to eat?" You say, "Already ate." You didn't. The hunger isn't physical, it's in your mind. That night you sit by the window and think, if the bank were a person, what would its eyes look like? Level 2, $200. You worked overtime for the next 2 weeks, 22 hours. Your account shows $200. Seeing a green number feels like victory, but that victory doesn't even last a week. The bank deducts its monthly fee, $12. You open the app and see it drop again. You apply for a credit card. The bank says you qualify for a secured card. That means you have to deposit $300. Against that deposit, they'll give you a $300 limit and charge you 24% interest. You read the offer twice. Then you laugh. You're depositing your own money to borrow it back, with interest. Is this banking or irony? You decline. Then one Tuesday morning, your tire blows out. You don't have $150, no card. The bus takes an hour and a half to get to work. You're 2 hours late. Your manager says, "What happened?" You say, "Car trouble." He doesn't say anything, but his eyes ask a question. "You don't have a car?" You don't answer. That afternoon, you go to the branch to talk about the fee. The teller is smiling at the customer ahead of you. When it's your turn, the smile disappears. She just says, "The fee has been applied." She looks at the next customer before you finish speaking. You walk outside and stand there. You wonder, am I a person or just a file number? Level 3, $2,000. You change jobs, new company, new salary. Direct deposit hits every 2 weeks, $1,600. Regular, the bank's algorithm notices. One day you open the app and see the $12 monthly fee is gone. You're surprised. You check 3 times. It's true. The fee is waived. You apply for a credit card again. This time, approval comes in 90 seconds. $2,000 limit, 22% APR. You think this same bank that said I was ineligible 6 months ago is now saying pre-approved? What changed? You didn't change. Only the balance changed. You go to the branch. This time the teller says, "Good morning, sir." She uses your name. You've never heard your name from her before. She asks, "How can I help you today?" You ask about a fee. She answers. Then she says, "Anything else?" You say, "No." She says, "Have a great day." You walk out. You think, is that greeting for me or for my money? Level 4, $15,000. Your account now has $15,000. You notice your credit limit increased to $9,500. You didn't ask, didn't apply. The bank just raised it. Then one morning, a call comes. A human on the other end. He says, "I'm Mark, your relationship manager." You say, "Mine?" He says, "Yes, I see your account is stable. Can you give me 15 minutes?" Let's talk about your goals. You agree. He asks questions. Where do you want to go? What's your savings plan? What's your timeline? You answer. He takes notes. After hanging up, you think, this same bank that made me wait 20 minutes for $4 is now calling me to ask about my goals. You take a $5,000 loan for a car. The interest rate is 6.8%. It would have been 11% before. Money just got cheaper. Then one day you see a wrong fee on your statement, $32. You email Mark. 3 hours later, the reply comes, reversed. No forms, no phone calls, just resolved. You wonder, was this Mark's personal decision? Or did the bank's rules change? Level 5, $80,000. Now your statement says preferred client at the top. Mark doesn't just call anymore. He emails you on your birthday. He writes, your sister is in Chicago, right? You're surprised. You mentioned it once in conversation 9 months ago. He remembered. When you go to the branch, you don't wait in line. You sit in Mark's office sipping tea. He tells you the bank has pre-approved you for a $400,000 mortgage. You say, I haven't decided to buy a house. He says, we want to be ready when you do. Another bank sends you an offer. You tell Mark. He comes back with a counteroffer in 2 hours. You realize the bank now wants to keep you because you're profitable. You're not a person. You're an asset. Is Mark's smile for you or for your money? Level 6, $500,000. Mark no longer emails. He calls. He says, Wealth Management wants to meet you. They come to your office, reports in a leather folder. They talk about your taxes, your estate plan, your investment goals. They don't try to sell anything. They just listen. One day you call about a frozen wire transfer. Someone picks up on the second ring. A person says, I'm resolving it. Problem solved in 3 minutes. You think, 20 minutes for $4 and 3 minutes for $500,000. Then the bank invites you to a private dinner. 12 clients, a guest speaker. No one mentions money all night. Just life, dreams, plans. You understand. The bank now sits at the table with you. You're no longer a customer. You're their future. In the bank's eyes, you're now wealth. But in your eyes, what are you? Level 7, $5 million. You now have a private banker. He manages only 20 accounts. Yours is one of them. He knows your daughter's name. He knows when her school starts. He knows what kind of art your wife likes. Your mortgage rate isn't published anywhere. It's negotiated over the phone. The minimum investment on private deals is waived for you. Paperwork that takes regular customers 2 weeks takes 48 hours for you. One day, you walk into a branch you've never visited before. The teller stands up and recognizes you, calls you by name, because you're flagged in the system. You think, how did they know? The answer, your balance arrived before you did. You sit in a conference room with no logo on the door. The table is one solid piece of wood. They're discussing a private deal that will never appear on any prospectus. You understand, $5 million means the bank bends rules for you. But you remember, once they charged you $35 for $4, the same bank. Level 8, $25 million. You no longer have a banker. You have a relationship. Relationships don't follow rules. Relationships negotiate them. Your name is now in the performance reviews of bank employees. They know losing you would hurt their ratings, so they do everything to keep you. The chief investment officer calls. He says, we're thinking about emerging markets. What's your view? You speak. He listens. The head of private banking flies in. He says, we're launching new products. What do you think? You speak. He takes notes. You're shaping the institution that once charged you $35 for a $4 mistake. You think, have I changed, or has the bank changed? The answer, I'm the same. The bank is the same. Only the number changed, and the number changes the bank's behavior. Now the bank listens to you, but is that respect, or is it calculation? Level 9, $50 million. Now the bank is no longer an institution. It's a security perimeter around your wealth. You have a team, a lawyer, a tax specialist, an investment advisor. They review your portfolio every morning. When you say, I want to buy a vineyard in France, they bring back 3 options within 24 hours. The bank's CEO has dinner with you once a year. That dinner isn't about money, it's about influence, perspective, the future. Because your money is part of the bank's business, but your thinking is part of the bank's strategy. When you call, someone picks up on the first ring. No hold music, no transfers. Just a person who says, "We're here for you." That phrase at $0 was an empty sentence. At $50 million, it's reality. The bank now listens to you, takes your advice, values your opinion. Right now, somewhere in the world, there's a person whose account shows negative $4. They're on the phone, hold music is playing, they don't know. The bank that's charging them $35 today is the same bank that will one day fly out to ask someone's opinion on emerging markets. They don't know, they and that someone could be the same person, just at a different time. The bank doesn't change. The bank only reveals what it always was. A $4 mistake means punishment. A $25 million opinion means respect, but the person is the same. Does the bank work with your money, or does it work with your weakness? Does the bank fulfill your dreams, or does it capitalize on your fear? The question isn't just about the bank. The question is about you. Will you play by the bank's rules, or will you create your own? $4 or $50 million, numbers change. But if you understand what the bank really wants, you're no longer a customer, you're a player. And players don't follow rules, players make rules. Today, even if your account has only $4, start understanding. The bank works with your money, but your life is yours. And that life isn't written in any balance. It's written in your decisions, your awareness, your confidence. When you understand this, the bank is no longer your boss. You become the bank's boss. If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be this. Don't look at yourself the way the bank looks at you. The bank's vision is limited. They only see numbers. You are so much more. You are your dreams, your hard work, your potential. Numbers come and go. But you never stop. Whether it's $4 or $50 million, you are the same person, and that person is bigger than any bank. Always remember, the bank borrows your money, but your life, that belongs only to you, and that is the real wealth.